guys, my name is Jacksepticeye and welcome to the Beginner's Guide. This is a game made by the same dude who did the Stanley Parable, which I absolutely loved. Such a cool game and a really neat concept and experiment, I guess you could call it. But this says that it's an hour and a half long. We're going to sit here, we're going to do the entire thing in one sitting. It's supposed to be about a guy going through something he doesn't understand. And there's a lot of buzz about this game online. A lot of people are saying that the ending is really good and it makes you question a lot of stuff, and the whole game in general makes you question your life. And that's really what got me interested in it, made me want to play it. And I want to do it all in one sitting. Because it's only an hour and a half long, I've done longer videos than that, but I want to get the full experience all in one sitting, and you guys can share in the same experience as well and have the same feelings, and the atmosphere doesn't shift or change or anything like that. But I should forewarn you guys that if you do not like slower paced games, if you don't like me just sitting here listening to a game more so than me just shouting, if that's what you're into normally, then this probably isn't going to be for you. You're probably not going to enjoy this video. If you like to just have something on in the background and you're listening along and you're sharing in an experience, and you don't mind the longer version of these kinds of videos, then you're very probably much gonna like this. So that's your warning right now. If you don't like when I'm not shouting or being bombastic all the time, this isn't gonna be for you. But we're gonna get into this. It should be fun. I can't wait, and I have no idea what it's about. So let's just begin the game. Woo! Yeah. Also, my shoes are off because it's warm. Make sure audio is on. Got it. Thank you. WASD and mouse, yes, as with most PC games. Thank you.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide.
You're welcome.
My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Alright.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike.
Yeah!
You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person.
That's a very good point.
What was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Sweet!
So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveyWreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
I had no idea that this was that's what this was about.
I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay. Loading, November 2008. This is cool! Okay, this is a very big departure from what we just played. What? Whisper machine status active. Evacuate immediately.
This game is called Escape from Whisper. And
Okay.
it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Okay, what are we doing? Is this like a fucking Halo thing? Okay, I can't get through here. I'm suddenly panicking over a thing I just started. I can shoot. Is there anything that I have to shoot? Am I gonna find monsters? I can't reload though. Do I have infinite ammo? Hopefully.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
Hostile alien life form? I don't want no alien life form, damn
It
it!
kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere. But then clearly there are no enemies anywhere.
Oh!
You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Oh!
Ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Can I go anywhere? Oh, hi.
Force neutralized.
Thanks.
Begin ship evacuation.
I love
Whoa.
how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
The bottom of the universe. Oh! Hello there! Is that what the bottom of the universe actually looks like? That's so cool looking, it's so pretty. Okay, these all say the same thing. Do I have an objective? Do I have a thing I'm supposed to be doing? I feel like I should, there's all alarms going off. Oh god, is this a maze?
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth.
Ah, no!
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Thank you! Oh, thank god! I hate fucking mazes and labyrinths. Can I go back and do it? No, I won't waste time. Okay! Whisper machine status active.
This
Okay,
is
same
the
thing.
part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature.
Really?
If your body could stop the beam.
Yeah, that's what I feared.
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Is this the big question that this whole game is going to answer? Would you give up yourself? Sure, why not? Let's move this train forward.
Let me pause here for a second.
I'm dead.
What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Oh. What happens? Oh! Whoa!
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system.
That's so
Or this
cool!
floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions.
Still floating.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Oh, that's like a really like out of body existential kind of feeling. Oh, it's crazy. Okay. I can't move.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Oh, oh! The past was behind her. I can only walk backwards? Oh my god, that's cool. Why has nobody done a game like that before? Well, I guess it would be kind of tedious, but it's such a neat concept. Okay, I'm stuck on something. Oh!
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
That's really cool. Because you have to stop and like look at everything. Look at your future, look at your past. But if the future is always behind her, How will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick.
That's like the first Portal game.
Next one.
First Portal game is like, gets in, shows you its mechanics, gets out. That's it. Good jokes along the way. Can I move in this one? Yes, okay. You are now entering. Entering what? Darkness? Is this a spooky game?
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay, I'ma trust you, Davy Reedon. There was nothing in there. Nonsense in nearly every direction.
Would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Whoa.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Am I slowing down?
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens.
Oh, what a cock tease!
Why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Sweet! So this was something that he made that you could never actually get to the top. Well, I was slowing to a crawl, I didn't stop completely. What's inside? Whoa.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
The game is nothing but giant blocks of text explaining what's happening. A normal game where you have to scream into a mic every 15 seconds to keep playing.
He didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
That's powerful. Press U to surrender. Wait. Okay, it doesn't... Did I actually do that by pressing U? Ready, set, fish! What? Ah! That made me feel all nice and warm and fuzzy. Hello? This does not look like something that would have ready, set, or fish in it. Do I have to go fishing? Hello? Okay. There's a door.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Click. What? Oh, do I have to traverse through darkness? No. What the hell do I do? The door doesn't open. Oh, wait. If I do this, and then... Yeah!
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon.
Not just a hat rack, my friend. Oh, I'm so invested in this now. This really has my attention. This is cool. I'm enjoying this. Hopefully you guys are too. I told you it was going to be slow. It was going to be a bit of a crawly thing that was happening, but hopefully by the end of it we'll all sit here and be like, wow. I'm already wowing at this. Do I have to close you? No. Okay. Moving on.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Why? Dude! Are those all hallways?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior, and then In this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
Yeah.
Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
This guy, there's a lot going on inside his head. And a lot of the stuff already is like, is harkening back to me as a YouTuber as well. It's like, it's not always what you see or don't see. Like, there's so much that goes on in the background that you have no idea what's actually happening. All you get to see are these snippets of our lives through these videos every day. And again, it's important to me that I come across as genuine and nice and everything. Like, because that's the kind of person that I am, and I want to convey who I am to you guys. But at the same time, if some people don't see me as that kind of person, if they just see me as a loud, obnoxious asshole, that's fine, because in my heart, I know that there's more to me than that. There's more to me than watching 5 minutes of a video. There's a lot more. It's when you get the whole compilation of everything that you fully start to understand who this person is that you're watching. Sorry to try and make it, like, all about me. That wasn't my intention. This is the same. You are now exiting. Was I just in those games?
So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game.
Ooh!
There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
This is cool! March 2009. What did he say it goes as far as 2011? The Great and Lovely Descent. Ooh, I like it. It's a very nice building.
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
Okay.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Correct.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
The Streetwise Fool. Alrighty.
In all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly.
Textures.
One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Dude! Holy fuck.
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're gonna end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Where do I go? Can I just drop? This is giving me like a real, like, I'm very small kind of feeling. I know he said that at the start, but it's making me feel like there's so much more going on in all of this than I even, like, understand. Like, it's beyond comprehension sort of thing. Good God. What happens if I just fall? Oh, there's something at the bottom. Because the idea is to just fall anyway, right? And it's called the descent. And it doesn't seem like I take much fall damage. Wonder if I could actually fall the entire way. Oh God, oh God, oh God. It's scary when you think you're gonna miss them. Okay, down we go. I like the juxtaposition of architecture as well. The outside looked really nice and like a proper house and everything, or restaurant or whatever. And now this is all fucking weird. Yeah. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. I think I can just fall, but I don't want to do that and mess something up. Although I have a feeling that this isn't the type of thing that's going to restart if you die. Whoa! That's trippy. We're going down to a light. Oh no. Good God, it just keeps on going. It's like a James Bond villain's base. Hello? Those stairs lead to nothing. What beeped at me? Why do we have paddocks? Oh no. What's happening? The music changed as well. I'm scared. What is that? No! Don't fucking do that to me. What the fuck? Oh no! I'm in a cell!
Funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yeah, thanks. Oh! I'm going back down.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Sounds like they had a nice friendship. And I'm starting... Oh no, I was gonna say, I hope he's not gonna say at the end that like Coda died or something. He said that he stopped making games, but he wanted him to make them again, and hopefully that this would help him make them again. But I can see where he got his inspiration for the Stanley Parable by playing his friends' games. What the fuck? Can I actually look back and look up? No. Let's see if I could look back and look up into the world and see the house just sitting there somewhere. Oh, here's the puzzle again.
With the exact same solution as the last time.
Okay. Yeah. I feel all smart.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Thank you. Because I'm not brain good. There's probably stuff in this that's going way above my head. I like this a lot though. It's like when you start a book and like the first few sentences are supposed to like pull you in, or the first few pages. That's what this is kind of doing to me. I don't want to be trapped in here with listen blockheads. Oh, speak and listen is written on them. You there! Did you come from up above? What was up there?
A dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
There's these floating colored blocks. That's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. The last thing I did before I got here. Again, perfect. Now, please, tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. You don't want to go over there. I don't remember how I solved it. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I didn't solve it. Someone else let me in. None of these help. Also, I like how their heads turn from listen to speak. That's cool. You don't want to go over there. Oh no, but I do. We do. We need to get there. Do you understand? It is the most important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. There must be an ending. I promise you there's nothing I want more. See ya! Ah, crap. Ah, crap. Hello, how did you get here? Was the puzzle you had to pass through? Yes, you want to know how to solve it. Oh, now we're getting interesting. No, we actually find the blank space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? So is this playing on my interpretation of like going in and thinking that I know, or with like a preconceived notion of how I think they're going to react to me? Why would I care about the space between the doors? There is a reason, but it may take time before you understand, which is fine. You'll see it again soon. Thanks, guys. You guys have been a big help. Love you. Don't call me next week. I'm busy. Freaky weirdos.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
This is the longest level, or the longest game so far. Am I outside? Uh-oh.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them.
Okay.
And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Interesting. That's the lamppost from the start of the game. Like, the actual main menu has the lamppost on it, which now makes sense. Yes, I know I touch my nose a lot. People have been pointing that out to me. April 2009. I was 19 years old. As you walked around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. It's Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Soulsy Souls. Hello? Can I read you? Oh, nice room. Not. That's mean.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
In a world full of notes, one man will read all of them.
That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is
that
why
message
I always
is sad.
liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world.
Butt ass butt.
And I feel less lonely too.
I need to go to the frickin' bathroom. Recognize me, please. So, these were all written by that dude. So, was he trying to, like, put down messages he thought people would leave? Or is he actually, like, reaching out for a cry for help? Like, recognize me, please, somebody in the real world. There's nothing here, go back, don't listen to that guy. There's like a weird music-y thing going on. A free t-shirt! Sweet! Need other side. Door, why you so? Makes game. Includes door. Cannot open door. Thanks. Open sesame. Door, how open? Memes, how strong? Someday I'll meet the person who made this. He's talking to himself. I help people because of the internal good feeling I get. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna skip a lot of these notes. If some of them pop up as I'm going along, you can read them. If you can. This is weird. Can I hop over there? If I fall, will I die? Is there a... I feel like I'm following the path that's normal. Like it's all connected to itself, but there was areas where I could have just jumped off, like back there, and gone down in there. Is it all connected? I need someone to talk to. I'm here! This is a note? Sure is, buddy! Good job. Don't listen to the other notes. But there's like a billion of them! I want a room this size in my house. With a big giant abstract blobby painting on it. Are those supposed to, is that supposed to symbolize all the notes? All the thoughts in the guy's head? Who are all of you? He's talking to himself though. I saw a person walking down there. Now it won't come back. Okay. Oh, I can't jump off. Oh, okay. Devil Tower Star. What? This is kind of eerie and creepy. There must be a reason for it though. His terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game! No you didn't, I'm still playing and I haven't beaten it yet. Can I fall down? Oh god.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means.
Okay, good.
Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Everyone's saying help. Shit, how do you solve it?
And because
Bros,
there's
I'll
this
tell
dark
you.
area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
So it's like you close the door and then the world is left behind you and you're just sitting here reflecting on it? Except a regular gamer wouldn't do that. A regular gamer would just come through, know that he's seen the puzzle before, and just do it super quick and move on. But I guess that's why the notes are left there, to make you stop and actually just like sit and think and look at them. Which is clever. What the hell does this say? Oh, it's typewriters! I thought I was scratching. How do you leave notes? It's like the people on YouTube. How do you leave comments? Are these all writing the notes? Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak, 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 speak. What the fuck was that? Porn stars die
Okay,
too.
this one is tough. It's gonna kinda just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. What's happening? Oh, okay. What's out here? I see you, extra parts of level. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this shit. I can do this. He's a very nice concept of how houses are. Like these very pristine corridors and walls and the warm lights everywhere. A man of expensive taste, it seems. Because these are some high-class apartments. Buildings.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Okay, all the shit is missing now. But it's... What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? Ooh, put a giant hole in the ground. How about a TV with surround sound? One. A TV with a surround sound. That's the table. Okay, now about along the wall of the room. It doesn't matter what I pick. I really like a washing machine. Doesn't matter, because you're just going to pick different things. I think we should light this room up a bit. We'll put Tesla coils in each corner. Yeah! Sweet. I need a door. And a table. You need a table. Who are you? Where exactly are you doing this from? I'm pretty sure none of the choices are making any difference. There. What?
there's a bit more to this one, but still it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Yeah! And Jesus Christ, is it weird? I feel like I'm walking through IKEA right now.
So okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
From the side. Hello, please walk forward. Am I at the well? This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care. First, click on the table. It's all shiny and nice. Click. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click on it to turn it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Okay. Off. On. Now go to the left side sofa. Move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. What are you making me do? That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. What? Return. But just stand at it or click on it. I'm weirded out by this.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside.
Whoa, that's
Let me
creepy.
just walk you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going. And then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Okay. I want to meet this Coda person. They seem to have a very unique mind. Whoa. This is very eerie. Have you ever had moments like that? Any of you who live in the countryside, have you ever just gone out in the countryside at night when it's pitch black, there are no lights anywhere, and you can just hear the world around you? You can hear the bugs and everything. Well, we don't have crickets over here that like that crickety chirping in the background all the time. But like we have birds and like different animals all around, and it's really peaceful to just sit and listen. Here's the lamppost again. And a TARDIS, apparently. Hi. Hello, who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. Are you talking to like your future past self? You're me? So you were trapped in this prison too? Yep, I was in the furniture maze. I was in the escape tutorial.
And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself.
Yeah.
All of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
What's it like to escape? Is that him like, what's it like to escape from your own mental, like, torture of going over, like, same ideas over and over again and not being able to get what you want out of it? Actually, I'm already forgetting what being in prison was like. It's strange, but in a way I kind of miss being in prison. Feels like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. I like that one. Do you feel any different? Some things I'm scared I'll get out and then things will be exactly the same. Sometimes be exactly the same as before. It actually does change. I don't feel like the same person at all. I'm getting like a sense of depression out of this. Not for me, but for for Coda. Is he like talking to himself? Asking himself what it would be like to get out of that prison? His own mind? Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. Then can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? To get out, all you have to do is be sincere. You need to tell me how you feel right now. Oh, I want to know that one. What? That will free me? How does that work? Listen, you can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. Just tell me how you feel, it will make sense. I feel afraid that nothing will ever change.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
This got real interesting all of a sudden.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Ooh, this is cool. I like
To me,
the look of this.
This environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Okay. He really likes his warm, apartmented rooms, like the nice furnished rooms, doesn't he? There's spilled stuff. Oh, hi! Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself, and right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes. Don't worry about me.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games.
Yeah.
Including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
That's the story, little one. Oh, don't you worry now. We'll be through this mess in no time. I promise you'll wish there was more. Why don't I finish up here in the meantime? Could you please clear the table? So this is it. These are all games that he never released to anybody. And he never intended to release them to anybody. It was only because he was friends with Davey that he actually gave them to him. To, like, let him play them. I cleared the table. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? Got it. Anything for you, squarehead, buddy. Nice. Wow, the texture assets on them are really nice. Why don't you straighten the rug a bit? All the little details matter. Got it. That's not straight, it's just not wrinkled. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How'd you end up doing this job? It's been a long time since I've seen a house this messy. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? Well, I don't enjoy it as much as I need it. While I'm working, I feel a kind of calm that rests in the pit of my ribcage. My soul just can't be soothed any other way, it seems, which I guess is about all that matters. Oh, and a tidy couch. Would you straighten the pillows on the sofa out there? See, I'm starting to wonder if he's just putting this stuff in, or if he's actually feeling this stuff and he's talking through his problems. If making his games is his own type of therapy. Like, house cleaning is like building games. So he can only calm himself, calm the chaos in his ribcage, and his soul just can't be soothed any other way unless he's making games. And maybe by the end of this, because he stopped making games, is because he found something else that soothed him a lot more. The couch. Where was the couch? Tidy pillows. Okay. Oh dear! Looks like someone spilled a drink over there by the couch. Yeah, got it. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Yeah, just make it really cheesy. No. No, it was stupid, sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Last I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best you can? Okay. I really want to know what you wanted to tell me, though. No need to be perfect, we're all just human. Are there still books scattered on the floor of the bedroom? If so, would you put them back on the shelf? There we go. Perfect! Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off the table?
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Whatever work you do, you've absolutely got to own it, otherwise it owns you. So why don't we be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to future you? Present you once.
Like this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
That's really nice. And that's good advice as well. Whatever work you do, make sure you own it, otherwise it owns you. And for some reason, this game is speaking to me a lot, because it's all about, like, doing something you really love and, like, really throwing all your passion into it and trying your very best to do the best you can at it. That's what YouTube is to me. It was the first thing I ever found in my life that I, like, loved doing. I was always such a lazy person with no motivation to do anything. I just wanted to play video games all day. I didn't want to get a real job. I didn't want to go out into the world to find a job, to ask somebody to hire me or anything like that. The thought of that really, like, made me miserable. And then YouTube came along, which didn't start out as me wanting a job out of YouTube. It started out as me having something that I could work towards, that I felt like I could throw every single ounce of myself into. All of my passion went into YouTube from then on, and it's now paid off incredibly well, and I'm so incredibly lucky to be where I am. But you have to find that thing that lets you put all of your energy into it. And now I'm a person who loves being busy, because it's the type of busy that I'm doing that I actually enjoy doing. And I think that that's so essential to your own well-being in life. Just in general. Like, it doesn't matter if your passion is arranging shoes or something like that. Whatever you enjoy doing, whatever it makes you happy, whatever you feel like gives you that drive to get up in the morning and you feel like you really want to do something. Sorry, I'm banging my table. That it's so important that you find that in your life, and I'm sorry that I went off on a little tangent there, but that's what this is about. This is about sharing an experience, and whatever thoughts come up, I can explain them to you. Am I just redoing all of these? Earlier when I said I had a really cheesy thought, yes, please tell it to me. I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it and it takes care of you. Don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. That's pretty cheesy, but there's a bit of truth in it, no? Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books, would you please clean up the books? Thanks. I like the music. Oh goodness, those pillows over on the couch are a real mess.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Question.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
I really like this. This is very therapeutic to play. To go through someone else's thoughts. Because I feel like this is like an experience that people go through in their lives one time or another, where you're questioning what you do. You feel like you have to find something to work towards. You feel like you need to create your own happiness, in a way. And there's the lamppost again.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
September 2009. Items you love at members-only prices.
A bit goofy.
Oh god, we're in school. Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? No, it's because I paid for college tuition and I had to get my money's worth. Does it make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to be perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about it that way in your own life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. Thank you, Shia LaBeouf. And the question is, how do we do it? But how do we do it effortlessly? No, not how we do it. This is easy. It's so easy. It's so easy.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
What the fuck?
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Oh. Can I not pick the other options? Oh, I can. Fuck. Oh! The yellow options are all the perfect options that the teacher wants to instill upon you. He wants to motivate you to be perfect. So the yellow options are the ones he's like, yes, this is what the students want and need to hear to be perfect. But he has all these doubts in grey. And then it shifts completely. And you see the black hole in the background, I guess is to symbolize, like, just this fear in the background. So you can keep on with the charade of, like, everything is perfect. Being perfect is effortless. You just gotta keep clicking the right options to make it sound like everything is effortless and perfect. Do you not understand that you won't be happy until you love me? This is for you. Ew, I'm developing a cyst. Gross. This is clever. Can I go up to the black hole? No. Fuck. Do what is easiest. Do what is simplest. Feel what is true. That's not good advice. Doing what is easiest and simplest is not always a good idea. Sometimes it's the hardest stuff that is the best stuff to do. Nothing. No one.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painful.
That's so true.
I think about this game a lot these days.
This game is really making me think. Are you gonna talk? Because I kind of want to say a few things.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
So what I wanted to say as well, it also comes back to the YouTube thing. So much of this, I feel like people who are creative or who are in, like, public eye a lot more, cause like, I'm not trying to say that, like, I'm super popular or famous or anything, but there are a lot of eyes on this channel every day and other YouTubers' channels. And it's always a case of people looking at you and they're like, oh my god. Like, I've had people come up to me and say, oh my god, Jack, you're so awesome, you're so perfect, you're so, like, you're so happy all the time, you're so energetic and everything. And while I do try and be, like, I do try and keep myself busy and do the things that make me happy, and I am happy a lot of the time, it's also important to me that I stay true to being, like, a person to everyone. So I always say that I try to be genuine, I try to be honest, I try to be open, because it reminds you that I'm human. Because there's a lot of other YouTubers you watch and you're like, oh my god, they're so untouchable that it feels like they're their best that they could ever be when they're in their videos, and that's the only version of them that you really see. Their personal lives and all the other stuff outside of their videos is very well hidden, or they just don't like to share it that often, so all you do is see these people at their best, so you think they're untouchable. If you watch, like, say if you like a band or you like One Direction or something, you see them on stage and you're like, oh my god, they're so happy and they sing so well and they're so energetic and they're doing their best. But you don't get to see all the stuff outside of those elements that makes them human, that makes them way more relatable to you than you actually think that they are. And that's all part of public image to those people, and it's an important part of like their marketing and their branding and everything. But to me, I've always felt like it was more important to just sit down and be a person to all of you. So someone that if you met on the street, you could come up and be like, hi, Jack, and like you could meet me and shake my hand and talk to me and everything. And not feel like it was some weird exchange. That I've never felt like I was better than anybody. I've never felt like I've had everything all together. I feel like my life is more together now than it ever has been. But there's still things that get to me. Like I've talked about it in like vlogs or previous reading comments videos and stuff like that. That I am still human. Some stuff does still get me down. I am happy 90% of the time, but nobody is happy all of the time. So like don't go out of your way and think that. Some people use that as an excuse to be a douchebag as well. I'm sorry I'm rambling. That they'll see these people online, they're like, oh my god, those people are untouchable, that they're so amazing at what they do. And then some people take that and they try and put those people down. Because they try and bring those people down to a more relatable level, subconsciously. They don't know why they do it. They just shit all over these people, but subconsciously it's probably them trying to think like, hey, like those people are so great, but I'm not that great, and I want them to be down towards my level, that if I can't have the happiness that they can have it. So they end up shitting all over these people. But just remember that you don't see everything. You don't know what's going on inside these people's minds. You don't know what's going on inside like my mind all the time. You don't know what's going on inside other people's minds. And it's when you realize that, when you mature enough, is a good way of putting it, to realize that not everyone is the way they seem. And it comes back to depression a lot as well, that you have no idea who's suffering with these demons inside of them, that there's always this like animation or this picture that you see of people putting on like their happy face or their happy suit to go out and face the world, and then when they go home they take off the suit and depression kicks in again. So you never know who's suffering, you never know what's actually going on with people. So that's why I always try and be as nice to people as I can be, because you have absolutely no idea what's going on underneath that facade that people show up. And I'm sorry that I just spent like 2 or 3 minutes talking about that stuff, but it's important, and all these thoughts are going through my head as I play this game, and I'm really glad that I'm doing it. Yeah. So hopefully it like relates to some of you as well. That some of you are probably feeling like you're down in the dumps, and you're probably watching videos from YouTubers and you're like, oh my god, they have their life so well together. So much is going right for them all the time. And like, I wish I had that. But like, they're a lot more relatable than you might think. We're on stage. Whoa, this is a big stage. This looks like the Gaiety Theatre in Dublin. Places, please. Where's my place? In this scene, you'll be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you start out leaning against this wall. This is like a bad dream, where you have to go do something like you're in a play, but you don't have all the lines memorized. Good, stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello. Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. I'm super scared right now. I like you. Here are all of my hopes and dreams. No. That's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. Whoa, those are not people. Okay, cones to bounce when you touch them represent people nearby. The music goes with it. Ding! You must have worked really hard to get where you are. I bet you've learned to lean into the pain. What are some sacrifices you've had to make? You're messing it all up again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. So is this Coda meeting somebody? I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Okay, there's a lamppost again. Something familiar that he's comfortable with. Let's go all the way back. What's happening? Okay, yes, now this is working. This is what it was like.
Ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
That was really interesting. Mobius Trip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Am I supposed to keep my eyes closed? No. Captain, what can we do? Oh, okay. Oh, we're on the Whisper! Again! Help! I'm blind! What the fuck? Truth is up there! Is that what it says? Oh, do I have to save something in a way? Oh, crap!
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Truth. What's the what? Oh, I think I did it. I talked to the truth. The only way to stop it is to speak to something that is honest. I can't keep making these.
I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
This is sad. Because he's basically talking to himself. He's being his own therapist.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
December 2010. We're getting into the last 2 years. Well, actually, we're coming up onto the last year. This is December. Hello? Whoa. How do I get out of here? So the more questions I ask, the more the solution becomes visible. Is that a person? How lovely! It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. See, he's basically talking to himself. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. When I try to create, I feel empty. I've nothing left to give to my work. I'm completely out of ideas. Oh. Oh no! What's happened? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. What the fuck? Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. You have to take me to it.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Doesn't matter what I say, does it? We're going to end up there one way or another, right? Oh, I clicked 3 and it just said deal anyway. So it was like deal, and the last one was secretly deal, but he said it in his mind, like, it doesn't matter what I say, anyway, we're just gonna go there. Like he just said, he keeps throwing himself at his work, even if he doesn't want to do it. So is this him, like, coping, or coaxing his way through his own work, trying to get back into the creative swing of things?
From my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone.
The puzzle.
Not releasing them onto the internet. And so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
So I've solved this puzzle before. Is this like your creative genius? Is this your creator's block right here? You need to solve the puzzle to get through it. First, you have to open the door. Oh, I'm actually talking about it now. Now you have to close the first door. Now you just press the switch here.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
This might be hitting a little too close to home. There's no machine here. That's not a good, healthy way to do it. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% of the time. That's not true. No matter what, like, thing you're doing, no matter what job you're doing, no matter how much you love it, it's not easy and simple 100% of the time. Oh. But it wasn't true. Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. Remember, these are all games that he never released to anybody, or never intended to release to anybody. This is him basically talking to himself through his work. The wall crumbled. So this is basically...
The game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
So my interpretation of this is that this is his literal creator's block. That he has like or like writer's block, or the wall in front of him. When people say you hit the wall. And each layer keeps breaking.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
Was that Coda?
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
I thought Coda was a guy. Or is it a girl? Now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, Coda could be a girl's name, right? The machine. But did he not use a pronoun here and there? And say him or he? I don't know. Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about this machine. It calls itself Coda. I'm feeling really uncomfortable. Whoa. Whoa. Okay.
And of course, it's the machine.
So this is like the representation of the creativity, the creative machine in their brain, and Code is basically telling themselves that they've stopped. You've stopped feeding us. Your work was keeping us healthy. This is so sad. The sounds are horrible. It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through the day. So here's what needs to happen. You need to go to the people who are out there and apologize to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. No, nothing. Think carefully, I know how to hurt you. I have seen the thing you fear. This is crazy. Alright then, I will apologize to the people on your behalf. My friends. It falls on me to deliver bad news. I have a troubling revelation. No, bad news. The machine will not apologize to us. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. Remember, this is all just Coda talking to himself. Herself. Itself. Who I don't know anymore. I'm so confused. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We'll find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me. We will destroy the machine. Follow me. We'll destroy everything that the machine has created. No, we'll destroy... I don't want to destroy the work you've done. We're back on stage. What? What do we do? Okay, this is weird.
Remember, you can click to fire the gun.
No! Coda, I'll make sure your work dies here. This is not cool. Isn't that what you're worried about? Not having to live without your press of creations? Having to deal with yourself?
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
No, not the nice room! This is horrible! I'm basically seeing a person destroy themselves. Whoa, whoa, it's the
So I
truth
started
door.
showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games.
Good.
You know, the point of it all is just to give them some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
There's the lamppost. And the machine. Put down your weapon. Okay. I tried to put it down!
See why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need. To be told that my work is good. That I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
Why do I have a feeling Coda didn't agree?
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made.
Okay.
So let's take a look.
I hope it's happier than the other ones. Okay. The same colours and stylings of all the other ones. It's very Mirror's Edge looking.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
The sound effects in the background, man, are creepy. I'm sorry I'm not saying much either. I mean, like, I know I said that, but I'm really just, like, lost in this. I'm lost in my own thoughts right now. I keep forgetting to say stuff.
This room actually has a maze in it.
Oh, I don't like that sound. That was making me... Fuck!
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Wall 128.128. Thank you! Could I jump off? Okay, I probably could. I don't want to disrupt anything. I hope that this has a happy ending.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end.
Thank you!
But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
151617. Why that code? Five, 6, 7, 1, 1, 1. Sweet. Thank you. This is creepy. A lot of this feels like you're playing inside someone's mind, which is even creepier about the whole thing. It started off so warm and nice. Now it's wrapping up into something that feels so emotionless.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
Thank you.
Was I a
Okay.
failure for not understanding this game?
No.
I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
Oh yeah, there was 3 dots scattered around the place before, wasn't there? Just like on the walls. Okay.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed.
You didn't fail, Davey. You're a good person. Are we at the end?
Where did I screw up?
This is hard to play. Dear Davy, thank you for your interest in my games.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
That's really sad. When he showed his games to other people he trusted, that's why all the press were outside.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere hidden between games.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes, giving them something that is not yours to give, violating one boundary that keeps me safe? Wow. Would you stop changing my games, stop adding lampposts to them? He was adding lampposts? I thought Coda added the lampposts. Or was he, is that metaphorically? Like, would you stop adding like a final destination to them? Would you simply let them be what they are?
And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
So he made this level specifically for Davy because he knew that he would be able to like get past the solutions. He'd be able to like code the game in such a way that he was able to open the door that the switch was behind. Maybe he was trying to keep Davy out and not the player. When I am around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with the new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I am talking about, don't say anything. Is this the same?
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please. I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
That's some powerful shit.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
What do I do? Can I go in some of these? There's a red door in this one. Oh, you're open. So this isn't just about Coda being depressed about what they're making. This is also about Davey being depressed about what they're making. Well, that's what it seems like to me. That he did this horrible thing to his friend and he just doesn't feel complete since.
Solution.
It's a very
I guess
nice
if
house.
someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
But that's what I felt playing through it. That he was like tormented, that there was something wrong. I even like went on a big monologue talking to you guys about how you don't always see what's going on behind the scenes. And now
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
What's happening? So these are things that Davey has made then. What the fuck? This is creepy. I really wanted this to have a happy ending.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
That's just being human though. Everyone wants to feel validated. Everyone wants to feel like what they're doing is good. And how do you know what you're doing is good unless somebody else validates what you're doing is good? Because otherwise, like, that's what they always say, like, the bad guys think that they're the ones doing good. So you never know what you're doing is actually worthwhile or what you're doing is good. And that's why I'm always so thankful for all of you. Because you watch my stuff, you give me feedback, you tell me what I do, if I'm helping you guys, if what I record is good, if what I record is bad, how I can improve myself. And I'd like to think that not only have I grown as a YouTuber over the last couple of years, but I'd like to think that I've grown as a person overall because of all the feedback that all of you give me all the time. I'm not trying to get like all philosophical like the way the game is and everything. It's just, there's so many thoughts going on inside my head right now.
What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
Are you gone? What the fuck is going on? How the hell is this all going to end? And somehow I feel compelled to walk through these arches. There's a crack in those. Oh no. They're just two separate things. What the hell is this place? These are like space monoliths. Do I drop? Oh, too late now! This game got so deep. And now I know why people were saying like the ending will be really good or the ending will make you think about things. The entire game is just making me think about things. It's peaceful up here. I really like the music throughout everything. It really sets the moods. Oh god. Is this going to end horribly? It's the beam! It's the engine room beam! Am I going to hit this and start floating? Do I have to give myself again? Thunderstorm outside. Which usually, in narratives, usually symbolizes that the protagonist is going through something as well. Or like there's a lot of like inner turmoil going on. I can't remember what they called it. There's a term for it. Am I gonna start floating? I can't see anything though. Whoa. What? Jesus Christ. Is this how your brain feels? It's kind of messing with my eyes as well at the same time. So that part where I came up is literally the only part with a gap in it. To me, this is symbolizing like his mental state. Like you're in the middle of all these mazes and you have no idea where to go or how to get out, but there is a solution somewhere.
Turn back.
For R.
Turn back from this cave.
What?
You said
This project would not have been possible without the following individuals.
let me keep going.
Wow!
But the cave
That changed completely by the end.
and miles
All this time, like the game, and I think it was supposed to be that way,
you're so tired.
was that the game, oh this is kind of loud. The game was like saying this idea that there was something wrong with Coda all the time, that they enjoyed making games and then all of a sudden something happened and they just didn't enjoy making games anymore. But it turns out they might have just enjoyed making games still, the way they were making them. But it was Davey who messed everything up. And then he was the one that was actually feeling bad throughout all of this. He's the one with the problem. Maybe they both have problems. Oh. Wow, that was fantastic. That was so good. I'm so happy I played that. Thank you, any of you who've been here for the entire hour and 40 minutes. Good God. It's because I went on a bit of a few rants there in the middle of it. But thank you guys, any of you who stayed towards the end of it. It really means a lot to me that you'd be here for the entire thing. Even if it was just on in the background, you were just listening to me. Hopefully, a few things hit home or connected. Because I know there's a lot of people out there who feel the same way. And I feel like YouTubers playing this especially will connect a whole lot more with this. Any of you who are creative people will feel it a lot more, I think, than some other people. And like a lot of the stuff that was in it is like really hit home with me as well. Because don't get me wrong, I still absolutely love doing YouTube. I can't imagine myself doing anything else ever again. It's the best thing that's ever happened in my life, and I'm so happy I get to do it with for so many amazing people who like really look up to me and appreciate the stuff that I do. It means far more than I can ever show people. And I really try and like, again, I try and be relatable to people and everything, because it's very easy for somebody to just make games and just do that and never connect with the people who are watching, and then therefore the people who are watching can never connect with the people that they're like seeing on the screen, and that's why it elevates them to a position that is way beyond what the people who are watching feel. And I never want that. I never want to feel like I'm elevated above any of you. I feel like we're all equal here. I just seem to be the focal point for all of you to like come towards and to see. And hopefully I'm doing people proud. Hopefully I'm leading people in the right direction, or I'm at least sending out some positive messages, and that I'm not being a total ass bag all the time. I know I swear a lot and I do a lot of stupid things a lot of the time, but hopefully, like, I'd like to think that I'm still a pretty good person and that I'm promoting a sense of positivity towards people, and that we're all just here to have fun, and it's nothing more than that. It's not like me trying to siphon money out of people. It's not me trying to clickbait people into watching my videos more so I can get more views or anything like that. I really hope that it's just like a friendship kind of basis, or at least as much like a friendship as I can make it through the power of YouTube, through this medium. It's very hard to still do that and to connect, but I still hope that I'm doing a pretty good job of it. I'd like to think that I am. I've been doing YouTube for 2 years now? Close to 3 years on March. And I'd like to think that any of the stuff that has changed, it's changed for the better, but the stuff that's made me who I am has stayed the same. For the most part. It's impossible not to change. Everybody changes every couple of years. Even all of you guys watching, you might not think that you're changing, but everybody changes, and that's how people grow and learn and develop, and hopefully everyone is changing for the good and for the better. But so much of that hit home with me. It's like YouTube started off as this thing where, especially after like the PewDiePie shout out, and again, I wouldn't say that that's what made the channel. I'd say the consistency of everything is what's made the channel. That helped a lot at the start to get people to get that sudden, like, I always say it, and Felix would agree with me, that it's like Felix is the one who turned on the engine, but I'm the one who hit the accelerator and changed the gears and that kind of thing. I'm the one who's kept this train moving. I just created a fucking car analogy and then a train analogy. But ever since then, it was a case of like, everyone was coming into the channel, they were like, oh, who's this new YouTuber who everyone's like talking about, and everyone's like, because that's how it felt at the time. Like, there was this, it seemed like every day there was a new like important figure coming in, like talking about the channel. Then the more and more people started to find out about the channel. That made me feel really good, but I never tried to lose sight of everything. That's when stuff makes or breaks the channel. If you throw a bunch of subscribers at a YouTuber and if they just completely go away with their egos, like, that's when you know the make or break. They either stay true to who they are, or they take that and they end up thinking that they're better than they actually are, and then they think they're better than the people who are watching them or whatever. So like, oh, hey, look at all the subscribers I have now. I'm better than you guys. But I tried so hard to not make it that kind of a thing, and I promise I'm getting to a point with all this. But after a while, it's like that died down. It's like the channel reached to a certain level. I'd say around 5 million subscribers is when this happened. And then everything started to die down and everything plateaued. It was like the channel rose and rose and rose and rose and then just went leveled out. And that's fine by me. That's fine by me. I'm so happy to have the amount of people that are on the channel here. This community is amazing, and it's way beyond anything I ever could have done on my own, or anything I ever thought could have happened with the channel. So I'm so happy that it did, and that's why I'm really hoping that I'm keeping you guys happy and entertained and proud along the way, because that sense of like the new it thing is kind of gone. So after that happened, your creativity kind of hits a plateau. And I've seen it happen to other YouTubers as well, whether they'd like to admit it or not. Going through the same experiences that I have with some other people, I can see it in them. Like, a lot of people who watch them might not see it. Some people might, or whatever, but I've seen this in other people as well, where you feel like you've hit your maximum potential. You feel like you've hit as far as you can go with the type of stuff that you're doing. Like my type of commentary, the type of games that I play. And I'm struggling a lot with that lately because I've said this a few times, a lot of series have died down. I'm trying to wait for the new next big thing to happen. And it's kind of hard to do when you're trying to find games to scramble towards that you think would be fun to watch, that you think are fun to play. A lot of them end up being one-offs, and then everyone thinks that you're losing like your creativity, you're losing your spark, or you're becoming boring, or you're playing all these types of games because you want to be something else. It's not the case at all. It's a case of like trying to find your way back. I still feel like I'm the same person. It's just you need to find that new it game that like it hits your spark again, that you fly off and you make the best of your potential, the best of your abilities, the best of your style that you possibly can. And sometimes there's a transitional period, and you just have to hope that the transitional period is the same, and that some people like, I have to try and open up your minds to it, how this stuff happens. And I'm rambling a lot, and I don't know if I'm getting my point across, and I'm always so scared that people are just going to abandon me in these transitional periods until I find the next new thing, and that I hope I'm not going off the rails as much. But that's why I stay connected to you all so much, that I feel like if I stay connected to you, that it will ground me, it will let me remember what this channel is, what it's all about. And that's why I like stick to my YouTube friends as well, especially Mark and Felix. They're like huge inspirations to me. Don't fucking cry, you moron. They're huge inspirations to me, and when I see those guys do cool things, like Mark with his charity stuff, the stuff he's been going through recently, and how he's coped with it, how he's handled it, how he's managed to like come back from it, and he's managed to take like such a long break from it, and he's managed to come back stronger than ever, and people are still there with him. Like, I admire the shit out of that so much, and I really hope that the people on this channel trust in me that much as well, to stick around me that much. And it's the same with Felix. Like, a lot of people give him shit for the type of stuff that he does. His humor is not for everybody. He even knows that himself. But he's adapted and he's moved on and he's done all these things throughout YouTube for so long, and he's still such a strong presence on this website. And to the people who watch him, a lot of people have come and gone, but he's managed to stay who he is for all this time. And he's going off and he's doing all these cool things with himself. He's maximizing his potential and he's doing so much with it. He still works so hard and it's so admirable. And it's the same with Mark. Like, they're such cool people and they're such strong people, and I look up to them so much. And it's kind of the way this game was promoting it as well. Like how Davey looked up to Coda a lot. Ugh! Get yourself back together and make a point. It's like, you need those people to look up to, because if you don't have those to look up to, like, where do you go? What happens then? Like, that's why I look to you guys so much. So you guys keep me strong every single day. If I didn't have you here, I'd fall apart. I wouldn't know what to make. I wouldn't know what I was doing was right. I need that validation. Like the game was saying, all of these things were going through my head as I was playing it, and I felt like right now is the perfect time I could have ever played this game. Because I feel like there have been moments in the last couple of months where you feel stuck in that kind of path. And that's why I've said I want to do so much more than what I'm doing now. I feel like I'm so busy all the time that I'm not making the time to do this stuff, that I want to do stuff beyond YouTube. I want to do stuff beyond games. I'm not saying I want to be an actor or anything like that, but I want to involve you guys in so much more, and we can have fun doing a lot more, and you get to know me more as a person instead of just living through games with me, that we get to live through so much more. So I don't know, don't take this now as that, oh, Sean's depressed, that there's something going on with him, he needs to vent, he needs to take a break or anything like that. That's not the case. I just need to find my spark again. I need to find that stuff that helps me keep moving forward. I just need games. I need games that what's the word I'm looking for? games that inspire me. Inspire me is the word that I'm looking for. Because a lot of the things that I'm playing now, while they're fun, and I still think that they're fun to put up on the channel, I'm still happy about the stuff that I'm playing, I feel like I need that next Subnautica, I need that next new Happy Wheels, the next Skate 3, that kind of stuff that really like reinvigorates the channel and everybody gets on board. Because right now there's a lot of people saying, Jack, what's the new series that you're going to play? What's the next big thing? I think we're all kind of waiting for that sort of stuff to happen, so stick with me. This can still be fun, just I need to make people aware of the mindset of things that's going on right now, and that I hope people don't abandon me in the transitional period or whatever. Again, I'm fine. I'm in a good headspace. I still really, really love what I do, and I still really enjoy what I do. My girlfriend's actually coming over for 9 days soon. I don't know when this video is going to go up. She's coming over very soon, and I have videos prepared. That's another reason that the pressure has been on, and the stress is kind of kicking in a bit, because I have to find games to cover the time. So I'm trying to find stuff that I think people are going to want to watch and that people will enjoy, as well as I want to record. And sometimes it's hard to find out, especially when there's not a lot of games out. So that's why there's a bit more one-offs than normal. I don't want people to think that I'm just going to start abandoning series and do one-offs all the time and turn into clickbait or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to do at all. And I'm trying to be as honest and open with you guys as possible. And I trust and I respect you guys to take this knowledge with you and like just make the channel and the community as strong as it ever was. And I don't know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, that was the beginner's guide. I'm sorry I rambled a lot. I feel like I had a lot of stuff on my chest that I had to get off, and I'm really glad that I played this, and this was one hell of an experience, and thank you for being here with me throughout all of this. This was a lot of fun to do, and I feel a lot better after playing it. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, punch the like button in the face like a boss, and high fives all around. But thank you guys, and I will see all you dudes in the next video! You know, this building you were in was never supposed to be a prison. That's why the door is weird. There are no cells in the bottom floor. And looking at the plans, there are no cells here, anywhere. But I'm in a cell. Wow, I have to go record a bunch of other stuff after this, and I have no idea how, because I don't think anything will top that for a while.
Let me pause here for a second.
I'm dead.
What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Oh. What happens? Oh! Whoa!
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system.
That's so cool!
Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions.
Still floating.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Oh, that's like a really like out-of-body existential kind of feeling. Oh, it's crazy. Okay. I can't move.
Yep. In this game, you can only walk backwards.
Oh! The past was behind her. I can only walk backwards? Oh my god, that's cool. Why has nobody done a game like that before? Well, I guess it would be kind of tedious, but it's such a neat concept. Okay, I'm stuck on something. Oh!
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
That's really cool. Because you have to stop and like look at everything. Look at your future, look at your past. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick.
That's like the first Portal game.
Next one.
First Portal game is like, gets in, shows you its mechanics, gets out. That's it. Good jokes along the way. Can I move in this one? Yes, okay. You are now entering. Entering what? Darkness? Is this a spooky game?
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay, I'ma trust you, Davey Reedon. There was nothing in there. Nonsense in nearly every direction.
Would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Whoa.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Am I slowing down?
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens.
Oh, what a cock tease!
Why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the
Top of the morning to you, ladies. My name is Jacksepticeye, and welcome to the Beginner's Guide. This is a game I've been made by the same dude who did the Stanley Parable, which I absolutely loved. Such a cool game and a really neat concept and experiment, I guess you could call it. But this says that it's an hour and a half long. We're going to sit here. We're going to do the entire thing in one sitting. It's supposed to be about a guy going through something he doesn't understand. And there's a lot of buzz about this game online. A lot of people are saying that the ending is really good and it makes you question a lot of stuff, and the whole game in general makes you question your life. And that's really what got me interested in it, made me want to play it. And I want to do it all in one sitting. Because it's only an hour and a half long, I've done longer videos than that, but I want to get the full experience all in one sitting, and you guys can share in the same experience as well and have the same feelings, and the atmosphere doesn't shift or change or anything like that. But I should forewarn you guys that if you do not like slower paced games, if you don't like me just sitting here listening to a game more so than me just shouting, if that's what you're into normally, then this probably isn't going to be for you. You're probably not going to enjoy this video. If you like to just have something on in the background and you're listening along and you're sharing in an experience, and you don't mind the longer version of these kinds of videos, then you're very probably much gonna like this. So that's your warning right now. If you don't like when I'm not shouting or being bombastic all the time, this isn't gonna be for you. But we're gonna get into this. It should be fun. I can't wait, and I have no idea what it's about. So let's just begin the game. Woo! Yeah. Also, my shoes are off because it's warm. Make sure audio is on. Got it. Thank you. WASD and mouse, yes, as with most PC games. Thank you.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide.
You're welcome.
My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
All right.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike.
Yeah!
You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person.
That's a very good point.
What was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Sweet!
So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing or at all. Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Sweet. So this was something that he made that you could never actually get to the top. Well, yeah, I was slowing to a crawl. I didn't stop completely. What's inside? Whoa.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
The game is nothing but giant blocks of text explaining what's happening. A normal game where you have to scream into a mic every 15 seconds to keep playing.
He didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
That's powerful. Press U to surrender. Wait. Okay, it doesn't... Did I actually do that by pressing U? Ready, set, fish! What? Ah! Oh, that made me feel all nice and warm and fuzzy. Hello? This does not look like something that would have ready, set, or fish in it. Do I have to go fishing? Hello? Okay. There's a door.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Click. What? Oh, do I have to traverse through darkness? No. What the hell do I do? The door doesn't open. Oh, wait. If I do this, and then... Yeah!
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon.
Not just a hat rack, my friend. Oh, I'm so invested in this now. This really has my attention. This is cool. I'm enjoying this. Hopefully you guys are too. I told you it was going to be slow. It was going to be a bit of a crawly thing that was happening, but hopefully by the end of it we'll all sit here and be like, wow. I'm already wowing at this. Do I have to close you? No. Okay. Moving on.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Why? Dude! Are those all hallways?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
Yeah!
Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it? And to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywrren@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
I had no idea that this was... That's what this was about.
I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay. Loading! November 2008. This is cool! Okay, this is a very big departure from what we just played.
Warning. Whisper machine active.
What? Whisper machine status active. Evacuate immediately.
This game is
okay.
called Escape from Whisper. And
Okay.
It's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Okay, what are we doing? Is this like a fucking Halo thing? Okay, I can't get through here. I'm suddenly panicking over a thing I just started. I can shoot. Is there anything that I have to shoot? Am I gonna find monsters? I can't reload though. Do I have infinite ammo? Hopefully.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
Hostile alien life form? I don't want no alien life form, damn it!
Kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere.
Oh!
You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Oh!
Ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Can I go anywhere? Oh, hi.
Force neutralized.
Thanks.
Begin ship evacuation.
I love
Whoa.
how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
The bottom of the universe. Oh! Hello there! Is that what the bottom of the universe actually looks like? That's so cool looking. It's so pretty. Okay, these all say the same thing. Do I have an objective? Do I have a thing I'm supposed to be doing? I feel like I should. There's all alarms going off. Oh god, is this a maze?
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth.
Ah, no!
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Thank you! Oh, thank god! I hate fucking mazes and labyrinths. Can I go back and do it? No, I won't waste time. Okay! Whisper machine status active.
This
Okay,
is
same
the
thing.
part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature.
Really?
If your body could stop the beam.
Yeah, that's what I feared.
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Is this the big question that this whole game is going to answer? Would you give up yourself? Sure, why not? Let's move this train forward. This guy, there's a lot going on inside his head. And a lot of the stuff already is like, is harkening back to me as a YouTuber as well. It's like, it's not always what you see or don't see. Like, there's so much that goes on in the background that you have no idea what's actually happening. All you get to see are these snippets of our lives through these videos every day. And again, it's important to me that I come across as genuine and nice and everything. Like, because that's the kind of person that I am, and I want to convey who I am to you guys. But at the same time, if some people don't see me as that kind of person, if they just see me as a loud, obnoxious asshole, that's fine, because in my heart, I know that there's more to me than that. There's more to me than watching 5 minutes of a video. There's a lot more. It's when you get the whole compilation of everything that you fully start to understand who this person is that you're watching. Sorry to try and make it, like, all about me. That wasn't my intention. This is the same. You are now exiting. Was I just in those games?
So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game.
Ooh.
There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
This is cool! March 2009. What did he say it goes as far as 2011? The Great and Lovely Descent. Ooh, I like it. It's a very nice building.
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
Okay.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Correct.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
The Streetwise Fool. Alrighty.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly.
Textures.
One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Dude, holy fuck.
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Where do I go? Can I just drop? This is giving me like a real, like, I'm very small kind of feeling. I know he said that at the start, but it's making me feel like there's so much more going on in all of this than I even, like, understand. Like, it's beyond comprehension sort of thing. Good God. What happens if I just fall? Oh, there's something at the bottom. Because the idea is to just fall anyway, right? And it's called the descent. And it doesn't seem like I take much fall damage. Wonder if I could actually fall the entire way. Oh God, oh God, oh God. It's scary when you think you're gonna miss them. Okay, down we go. I like the juxtaposition of architecture as well. The outside looked really nice and like a proper house and everything, or restaurant or whatever. And now this